Going through your profile, you have a very prolific, experience all across, in the industries. Especially, you invested a lot of time in Samsung, building on different products. So I will like to kind of request you, why not you introduce yourself to our audience and take us through your journey of experience so far.
Yeah, so thank you, Rishikesh, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. So I'm a guy who has a lot of passion for education. I love education. I studied in three countries: US, South Korea, and India. I think my foundation in India was very strong. That has enabled me to survive for so long and do good. I keep learning. I, of course, speak languages as well. I speak Korean language. Right now I'm in South Korea. And I believe in continuous learning, lifelong learning. And I'm so glad that my passion for technology has enabled me to contribute to this world of education by building ClassSaathi, which is a very simple and a powerful way to engage every child in the classroom. And we've been working on this for the last 8 years. My company is TagHive. We've been working with classrooms, with students, not only in India, but globally. Today, we're in around 10,000 classrooms. And as we add every classroom every day, we feel more responsible towards what we are doing. And hence, very excited about this opportunity to be a part of the learning journey for students and teachers, and hope to keep on growing, keep on learning, and make an impact and make this life more meaningful for all of us at TagHive.
Actually, we kind of did a research on your this product Class Sathi, and we found it very mesmerizing. It works without internet. It works without a lot of connectivity, and it really helps the teachers, keep the classes interactive, get feedbacks about the students' performance, and really helping you build in that learning cycle. Can you tell us a bit about Class Sathi? What does it do? Where is it based out at? What kind of schools you are
Sure, sure.
targeting? Yeah.
So let me tell you what problem we are solving. So Rishikesh, where did you sit in a classroom typically when you were a student?
I was always a backbencher.
Backbenchers, me too. I love being at the backbench, and I found that when you are at the backbench, a lot of interesting things happen.
Yes.
Like students are not paying attention, and teachers have a hard time in a classroom to really pay attention to the backbenchers. And not only backbenchers, but also other people in the classroom. There's a lot of distraction, and especially these days when you have digital devices available almost anytime to you, the attention span is much less compared to before. So what happens is in a classroom, students are distracted. Teachers are finding it difficult to engage the whole class. Everybody is at a different learning level. For example, teacher taught something on the solar system, and then how does the teacher ensure that every student understood what was just taught? So this is what we are trying to solve. We enable teachers to understand in real time the understanding level of each child in the classroom, the topic that they just taught.
Got
And we
it.
started with this, and then we found that the teachers, the students, the parents, the administrators asked for more functionalities. For example, students said, "Hey, we want to have something that can guide us when we have doubts." So we built Saathi Tutor, and then teachers said, "Hey, while we like your solution, class Saathi." So idea is, when teachers ask a question, every child responds, and they respond through this. We have this thing called on my desk here. This is the product, the hardware component. So we say transform classrooms from boring to scoring. Okay, this seems like a marketing thing here, but anyway, I'll just share. So inside this thing, there is a bag of clippers. This bag is outside here right now. So this is the bag. Okay. This bag basically has around 40 clickers, so one for each child in a classroom. And a clicker looks something like this. Those who don't know what clicker is, a clicker looks something like this. It's like typical KBC wala, ABCD, Yota 1, 2, 3, 4. And say, imagine a teacher asked a question, in this case here, what is the largest planet in the solar system? And I am roll number 4. So I can press my option. And the moment I press, the teachers know that roll number 4 has responded. And either it's a blue color or a green color or a red color. Uh, Teachers can control, they don't want to show the answer right away. They can do that. They want to show it later. They can do that. So a lot of functionalities. And then teachers told us to build AI. Teacher asked us to enable them to create more questions. And not only that, they also wanted to ask, also wanted us to make teaching content. So we did all of that. Now we have Saathi Genie, which does that very seamlessly. And then parents told us to create some features that can let them know more about status, more about the student status in the classroom, where are the gaps and all of that. So we did that. The most exciting part is the personalized homework. Now, every child in the classroom gets a personalized homework. Depending on the performance in the class, some students get the right answer, some students get the wrong answer. Some students didn't answer. So the AI will know the profile of each child, and then it will assign homeworks depending on the student's performance in the classroom. So when students go home, they go to the devices. If they have one, I'm sure post-COVID, every household has a digital tablet or a mobile phone or something of that kind. They can use that to do their homeworks. and teachers would know. So this is where, you are doing a formative assessment, not only in the classroom regularly, but also at home. So we built all of this. And then we also went beyond saying that, hey, because now we have so much of information or so much of richness in our knowledge about the student profile and the content, we actually built a GPT. And then we exposed that API for other enterprises who want to enable AI capabilities in their in their solutions. So we kind of going full stream. Initially, we just started with the clicker, then software, then content, and then AI, and then building our own APIs and enabling other companies to build AI capabilities. Answer to your short question, but this is what we do.
You have already worked on a community-based kind of a project, like you were part of Samsung Farm, I think,
Mhm.
building products. So how does ClassSaathi, is it only built for the private schools, or you are also kind of trying to percolate into the government infrastructure, tackling the masses uh, in a way, who can't afford that kind of a quality education? Are you
So
also
the
going there?
starting point was the government schools, Rishikesh, because as I told you, I have passion for education. I really wanted to build something where technology could be of help. In private schools, they're already good anyway. So idea was that work for government schools, public schools, where there is infrastructure
Yes.
limit. Of course, a lot of things are happening, but I think it's still a lot of work remains to be done. So we wanted to build something that is more infrastructure free. It's not limited to any infrastructure requirements. And since our ClassSaathi works without internet, it works on the smartphone of teachers. So teachers can install the application on the phone. They can get access to all those questions, syllabus. We have content from grade 1 to grade 10, all chapters, all subjects. The teachers can ask questions and then students can respond. So teachers can see on the mobile phone right there, which students know how much.
Yes.
Started with that, and as we progressed, what happened is a lot of private schools approached to us saying that, hey, we love your solution and we would like to bring it to our schools as well. So we started working with those private schools as well. So right now we have around 300 plus private schools in the country for using our solution, and we have good sort of big names across the country. And in all the states, almost we have private schools with whom we work, and it has been very, very natural for us. We've not pushed it, and our because we're seeing the long game. We don't want to just
Yes.
do a big hit one day and then rest for the rest of the life. It's not like that. We just want to build something continuously. And education takes time. If you build a product for the education market, it just takes so much time because you have to learn a lot to make it more relevant. We are not impatient. We are working very hard. We are trying
Yeah.
to just make sure that we deliver value, and then over time we are able to really impact more classrooms and more students, more teachers.
Right. And that's actually the need of the day, because you are actually trying to do something for the infrastructure rather than selling them the final outcomes to the students, like a lot of edtechs did, which didn't work out. So you, in a way, are trying to change the infrastructure, making an infrastructure capable enough, which can
Yeah,
make the experience capable.
we found that schools, generally what happens is schools, a lot of tech companies, what they do is they build something and it's very solution specific. I mean, they,
Yes.
they build the solution and they push that solution to fit the problem. We actually wanted to solve the problem, to engage every child in the classroom. And then that's how we started, and that's the core problem we are solving. And as we are doing that, we are also solving other problems. So our solution also has changed over time. It's not like we built something and then we got spot on. We had to do multiple iterations. And so we have done that. We keep on evolving almost every day. We've come so far, but we definitely have more grounds to cover. There's much more need that we have identifying. We're trying to fulfill those needs as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I will take you towards the technology stuff. Like, what is the technology that go behind this?
So we use on the hardware side, it's a beacon-based technology. We are the world first clicker device that works on beacon, and beacons generally very used for the different objective in other countries, but we use beacon. So beacon is a broadcast thing. It broadcasts signal at a very low energy level. So it's the batteries that we use it lasts for a longer time. We use beacon technology, which is a Bluetooth protocol. It's more technical. We do that, and then we also on the software side we have of course all the basic architecture. We use Amazon Web Services Cloud for our all infrastructure purposes. We have a very secure DB, and on the AI side, of course, initially we used some of the available APIs, but
Yes.
then we built our own API now, Saathi GPT, and we use that in house. We do a lot of training of our own models on the
Cool.
data that we get, which is very unique to us, so
Cool.
that our AI model becomes smarter every day, just like
Yes.
all of us. And then we are able to perhaps serve a wider market with being more relevant.
Yes. So tell me a bit about, there's a lot has been talked about, edge computing in case of IoT and sensors, because usually there was a trend that data has to go to a central place and then it gets analyzed, creating that latency. Do you also, what role does edge computing play in improving the responsiveness and effectiveness of IoT devices today and in the future?
So see, edge computing, just those who don't understand what edge computing is, it is computing at the edge.
Yes.
So if I have a smartphone,
Yes.
I'm having a device. So
Hmm?
this is the device I have. So generally, as you mentioned, all the computing is to happen in the cloud, and this screen was a dumb screen. But
Yes.
now this screen becomes a smart screen or smart device, and the computing happens here. That is what edge computing means, as I understand. So what
Right.
has happened is, also the web has evolved. It was you had 1.0 web where it was more consumption, web 2.0 where it was more perhaps creation and all of that, and then you have web 3.0, you have more collaboration. So web also
Yes.
has evolved, and I think web edge computing is definitely a must have because it directly relates to the latency point, as you mentioned. So in our case also, because we work without internet,
Yes.
any clicker that has been clicked in the classroom, the response gets immediately collected.
Hmm?
The analysis happens instantly on the device, and then of course backend the data gets transferred. We do more deeper analysis as well. We generate insights, but that is more on the cloud side. But for the classroom side, because classrooms don't want to get disturbed with the internet bandwidth issues, so we ensure that the classrooms don't get affected, and the job that needs to be done quickly gets done quickly.
Yes. Pankaj, there is, one thing which has already been talked about a lot inside a lot of publications is that when it comes to IT based assets, the cybersecurity is kind of impeccable. But when it comes to OT, still the security measures are not in place. So I would like to take your insights on what approaches are most effective in addressing security and privacy challenges in connected devices, like you have IoT ecosystems.
See, it is there's much more, and I'm not an expert on this, so I cannot give you my strong opinions on anything of this kind. But I think generally you need to know what are you trying to secure here, and what are you trying to keep private. So in ClassSaathi, we have ensured that we don't collect any sensitive information to begin with. So when you don't take anything, when you don't collect any sensitive data, there's no need to be worried about privacy or security at all. I think if you stop the issue right at the start point, like you don't even collect, then no need to protect, right? So that has been our approach. We keep it very, very simple, because there's always, no matter how secure you are, there could always be a breach. So we don't want to take chances on that. And I believe that we should only collect those data points which are relevant to the service that we provide. And hence, we try to stay away from that challenge of it's a constant challenge. Having said that, we also deploy the best available secured service by paying extra dollars to Amazon Web Services, so that despite not having any sensitive data, still what is sensitive to others may not be sensitive to us, perhaps. So we want to ensure that while we are very sure that we don't collect any sensitive data, but having said that, we still use the best services, the gold standard services in the industry, to protect the data and the information that we have of the users that we serve.
So, sir, you already talked about the implication of AI and machine learning that you are using. Can you take one example to explain us, like how does AI and machine learning enhance these sensor technologies and make them more smarter?
See, what is AI and what is machine learning? See, idea is AI is just like a brain, right? That gets some inputs and gives you some output. And just like a human brain evolves over time. Like we come to this world, we don't know anything, very very naive, and then as we get more inputs, data, our brain gets trained over time, and it is a long process. Similarly, machines, they become smarter through AI, because AI is the brain for the machine as it gets more data. So sensors, they collect data of the environment and they respond in a particular way. So as in how they get collected, they collect more data from different sensors which feed into each other. So there could be some new sense that we can make from that comprehensive data, and the machine gets trained. So I think the more data you have through these sensors, the more intelligent your system could become on how to act, react, and all of that. But at which point, I think the problem with collecting more data is again addressing the issue of privacy. How do you do that? So it's a sort of seesaw here. So you need to know, how to address um, the balance or the trade-off between making the system more intelligent and keeping the system more secure and private.
This was nice. Now, since Pankaj, you have invested a lot of time in building sensors and IoT devices. Like to take your insights on what are the main challenges in designing sensors and hardware that balance performance, power efficiency, and cost.
That's a very generic question, man. It depends on the use case. If you have a plugged device, if you have a plugged device, if you the device is connected to the electricity outlet all the time, You don't need to focus on the power efficiency at all, in my opinion, because these devices anyway consume less power. If you have a standalone device which is battery operated or solar powered or whatever, like, so you need to know what your use case is first of all. Depending on the use case, you need to know what your constraints are, and then you design around that. So I would say there's no one cut answer here on what you're asking. It's very case specific. In our case, we build this clickers, and our biggest focus was the efficiency because we use a small battery, coin battery in the product. Most clickers, they don't last for more than 3 months on two batteries. And my design idea was we'll only use one battery and we'll make it last for 1 year. Huge sort of challenge we took on, and that's why we use Beacon. So when you know your constraints, you know your goals, you use technology accordingly. Many times people just use technology without knowing what their goals are. And it is possible because we don't always know the goals very clearly. It just happens over time. So in that case, it could be challenging. But if you know what your goals are, what your service area is, what your focus points are, then you kind of choose technologies. And that all boils down to what use case you are working on. So I would say that, know what the use case is, know your boundaries, constraints, and then accordingly design. You have an answer. Technology gives you answer to all the things.
Yes.
You can build whatever you want.
What a follow-up question on this is that what are some of the promising use cases of IoT and sensor technologies, in say,
Yeah.
beyond the home space, like healthcare, transportation, industry applications?
Everywhere. I think, IoT was a buzzword a couple of years ago. I think pre-COVID, IoT was a big buzzword. And IoT stands for Internet of Things, by the way. So you have this thing. It could be a sensor, it could be a transducer, whatever that's connected to the internet. So Internet of Things. So idea was, even your washing machine could be an IoT device. So earlier it was all independent solo, like not connected device. But because of the technology proliferation, what companies have done is they have tried to connect all the devices. They have brought them all to the internet. So you have all these devices which are basically IoT. Earlier, we used to only have tablets or laptops which are connected to the internet. So that was a big IoT. And over time, you have sensors. For example, you have you have these buttons which you can click and you get SOS support. You have a button, you click on that button, you can easily order Swiggy food or Zomato food. So those buttons could be there, right? So think about like Zomato releasing a product called, they release different buttons, food menu case up. They'll say, okay, if you want to order the biryani, then you just click this button. You don't even have to go to the app and do whatever. So you just click on that biryani and biryani will get ordered. The IoT device will talk to the app and then app will just place the order for you. You see what I mean? So again, IoT, even for elderly people, silver group, they need more care. And in case of emergency, if they have a button, they just press the button, the SOS goes out to somebody or the care provider, and they can be taken care of. So I think those are very simple applications which we can imagine. Of course, there could be more. But I think, again, it comes down to the use case. Technology is there, and we need to know what to build and how to build is the easy part.
Yes, one of the use cases can also be these Uber cabs. They've got a press button which is interconnected, and the signal directly goes to the police station. If
Something
you're
of
in
that kind.
trouble.
Yeah, yeah. So I think IoT is, it just makes our job easy. And these days you have low cost and affordable sensors, so it should not be a problem.
So the last question, Pankaj, is that which geographies are you focused upon? Are you focused only on India, or you have also taken this technology, to the schools outside of India as well?
So we started with India and South Korea initially. I used to work at Samsung. I was a very devout Samsung employee for a long time. And then around 8 years ago, I came out and started a company TagHive, and we built for education. So we initially started with Korean market because we were here. And then we moved to India in 2019. And since last 6 years, we've been very excited about how India has reacted to our product and offering, and we've been able to evolve much more. And then what happened is, because we go to these global shows, exhibitions around the world where we showcase our education product, a lot of companies, when they see us, they really get excited about the simplicity of our product and the usefulness, the easy and very quick usefulness of our product. So we have been also lucky to expand to Vietnam, South Africa, South America, and as we speak, we have our team working, going to Malaysia and Thailand as well. So we've been like expanding and keeping it very focused because we don't want to lose the focus from India. We want to be less focused on India and a few markets like Vietnam and South Korea. But as the other markets grow, we are seeing South Africa as well showing a lot of promise. So we want to focus on a few markets where we see huge promise, and then expand our team capability that way and address on the market globally over time.
This is useful, Pankaj. Thank you so much for joining us.
Great.